Hello students, welcome to Sairam classes English 1 to 3. Today I'm again here with a new chapter of class 12th, A Visit to Cambridge. So before starting the video, if you are new to here, then like and subscribe the channel for further updates and hit the bell button also, by which you can get notification as I upload my videos. So, let's start the chapter. Chapter 7, A Visit to Cambridge. Before you read, this is the story of a meeting between two extraordinary people, both of them disabled or differently able. As we now say, Stephen Hawking is one of the greatest scientists of our time. He suffers from a form of paralysis that confines him to a wheelchair and allows him to speak only by punching buttons on a computer, which speaks for him in a machine like voice. Firdaus Kanga is a writer and journalist who lives and works in Mumbai. Kanga was born with brittle bones that tended to break easily when he was a child. Like Hawking, Kanga moves around in a wheelchair. The two great men exchange thoughts on what it means to live life in a wheelchair and on how the so called normal people react to the disabled. In this chapter, we will know about the meeting of two extraordinary people whom we call disabled or differently able. Stephen Hawking, who is the greatest scientist of that time, and he was suffered from a form of paralysis, which and due to that paralysis he was confined. He was bound to a wheelchair and he was allowed to speak only by punching buttons on a computer. Whatever you want to tell to the people, he writes on the computer and the computer speaks for him in a machine like voice. And the writer, who is the author of the chapter, Firdaus Kanga, he was a writer and a journalist who lived and works in Mumbai. Kanga was born with brittle bones. He was born with brittle bones. It means that bones were very easy to break when he was a child. Like Hawkins, Kanga also moved around in a wheelchair. So, both in this chapter, we will know the meeting of two disabled persons, how they meet and what they talk about. The two great men exchanged thoughts on what it means to live life in a wheelchair, and both of them talked about the life on wheelchair. That how the other people who are very normal, who are so called normal, it means who are not having this type of any problem, how they react to differently able people or disabled people. And I started because I had quite forgotten that this most brilliant and completely paralyzed astrophysicist, the author of A Brief History of Time, one of the biggest bestsellers ever lived here. The author reveals here that before the guide had mentioned, he had forgotten that Stephen Hawking, who is the most brilliant and completely paralyzed astrophysicist. Astrophysicist is a scholar who deals with the star, planets, etc. The author of one of the biggest bestseller ever. And he is a very famous author because he has written the book A Brief History of Time. Then the writer is telling us that before the guide had mentioned, he has totally forgotten about Stephen Hawking, who was the most brilliant and a biggest bestseller ever lived there in that place. Even the 10 minutes would be enough to meet with Professor Hawking. But the servant said from 3:30 to 4. It means that he had given time to meet with Professor Hawking for half an hour. And suddenly I felt weak all over. Growing up disabled, you get fed up with all people asking you to be brave, as if you have a courage account on which you are too lazy to draw a check. The only thing that makes you stronger is seeing somebody like you achieving something huge. Then you know how much is possible and you reach out further than you ever thought you could. The author began feeling weak at the moment. He relates how one is constantly told to be brave and cheerful when you grow up being differently able, as if it were that easy. हर कोई आपको बहुत कॉन्स्टेंटली आपको बताने की कोशिश करता है कि आप बहुत ब्रेव हैं, चेयरफुल हैं, दैट यू आर growing differently able, and they pretend that it is too easy. He mentioned that people think one who is different is just lazy to draw a check on their courage account. कि अगर कोई भी लोगों को क्या सोचते हैं लोग कि अगर कोई डिफरेंटली एबल है तो बहुत इजीली वो चेक ड्रॉ कर सकता है अपने करेज के अकाउंट पे कि वो इस तरह से जी रहा है डिफरेंटली एबल, तो ये बहुत साहसिक काम है एक तरह से. In such a situation, the only thing that gives you courage and strength is seeing people like you do something big. और जो सबसे मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग है जो आपको इस समय जो करेज देती है, जो स्ट्रेंथ देती है, वो तब होता है व्हेन यू सी द पीपल लाइक यू एंड दे गेट मोर, they get bigger things to achieve. They got big things, they achieve big things. It is only then you know there is a hope and possibility which makes you go beyond your limits and imagination. And then you know, जब कोई आपके जैसा डिफरेंटली एबल पीपल कुछ करता है तब आपको रियलाइज होता है कि नो, देयर इज स्टिल होप, देयर स्टिल समथिंग possible, that you can do something big, you can achieve something big like him. If he can do, so I can also do. I have not been brave, said his disembodied computer voice the next afternoon. I have had no choice. Then next afternoon, when he was sitting with Professor Hawking, then he asked a question, and in that question, his disembodied computer voice, as I've told you, that whatever Professor Hawkins wanted to say, he typed in a computer, and that machine like voice tells what he told the people what did he want to say. Then he said, I have not been brave. Stephen Hawking told him that he was not brave. He spoke in his disembodied computer voice that he didn't have any option at that time. He had no choice. उसके पास कोई choice ही नहीं थी. Surely I wanted to say, living creatively with the reality of his disintegrating body was a choice. But I kept quiet because I felt guilty every time I spoke to him, forcing him to respond. There he was, tapping at the little switch in his hand, trying to find the words on the computer with the only bit of movement left to him. His long, pale fingers. Every so often his eyes would shut in frustrated exhaustion, and sitting opposite him, I could feel his anguish. Anguish means severe mental or physical pain or suffering. कोई suffering होना mentally या physically. The mind buoyant with thoughts that come out in frozen phrases and sentences, stiff as corpses. Corpses means dead body. Then the author wanted to reply. He wanted to answer that living so creatively even with his disabilities was a brave choice. But he refrained, but he controlled himself from doing so, as his guilt took over every time he was feeling guilty, that he was pushing Stephen Hawking to respond by talking to him. क्योंकि हर बार वो चाहता था कि वो बोल दे कि नहीं नहीं ये कोई वीक चॉइस नहीं थी, ये बहुत ब्रेव चॉइस थी कि विद disabilities you have chosen this type of things. But somewhere was feeling guilty because he wanted to know, he know that if if he say something, then in answer he has to respond, उसको respond करना पड़ेगा, he has to take efforts to answer. He spoke by finding the words on his computer and then tapping a little switch in his hand with the only remaining movement left in his pale and long fingers. Okay? If he asked anything, he spoke. वो बोलेगा, कैसे बोलेगा? He will find the words on the computer screen on the computer and then he will tap a little switch with whatever is in his hand and with only remaining moment left in his, क्योंकि बहुत थोड़ा सा मोमेंट होता है उसके पेल और लॉन्ग फिंगर्स में, और इसके थ्रू वो कोशिश करेगा लेटर्स को ढूंढने की, वॉट एवर ही वॉन्टेड टू टाइप इन आंसर. तो उसको लग रहा था कि इफ़ आई डू एनी थिंग ही विल हैव टू सफ़र ड्यू टू मी, मेरे क्वेश्चंस के कारण उसको सफ़र करना पड़ेगा. ही वुड गेट ईजीली फटीग and would shut his eyes every now and then in frustration. And he was watching that Stephen Hawking was easily getting fatigued. बहुत थक जाता था, बहुत गुस्सा भी, mentally fatigueness हो रही थी उसको. And sometime he was shutting his eyes every now and then. हर एक मिनट बाद, 2 मिनट बाद अपनी आंखें बंद कर रहा था frustration में. The author mentioned how he could feel Hawking's pain as the thoughts in his intensely active and vibrant mind came out emotionless and stiff as a corpse. कि वो उस पेन को फील कर सकता था कि अंदर से कितना इंटेंस एक्टिविटी होती है, अंदर से कितना बहुत गुस्सा भी आता है, समटाइम वाइब्रेंट होता है माइंड, बहुत कुछ चाहता है करने के लिए, बट इमोशनलेस, क्योंकि जो बॉडी है हिज बॉडी इज लाइक अ कॉप्स, डेड बॉडी की तरह है. एंड मोर ऑफ द टाइम इट इज नॉट सपोर्टिंग, हिज बॉडी इज नॉट सपोर्टिंग टू हिम. A lot of people seem to think that disabled people are chronically unhappy. I said, I know that's not true myself. Are you often laughing inside? Now, the author is expressing how most of the so called normal people think that people with different abilities are constantly sad, they are regularly sad and miserable. उनकी जो कंडीशन होती है बहुत ही मिजरेबल होती है, बहुत ही वो दुखी रहते हैं. बट एज फार एज ही इज़ टॉकिंग अबाउट हिमसेल्फ, लेकिन जैसे वो बात कर रहे हैं अपने बारे में, तो इट इज़ नॉट ट्रू. वो उसके बारे में तो वो ट्रू नहीं था. ही आस्क हॉकिंग इफ इट वॉज ट्रू फॉर हिम और वॉज ही लाफिंग ऑन द इनसाइड. कि अब वो उससे पूछता है हॉकिंग से कि क्या ये चीज़ ट्रू है या फिर आपको भी कभी कभी हंसी आती है अंदर से. About 3 minutes later, he responded, I find it amusing when people patronize me. And do you find it annoying when someone like me comes and disturb you in your work? So after 3 minutes later, after 3 minutes, he responded, means he took 3 minutes time to answer. He find it's entertaining when people are only kind to him because of his different abilities. कि मुझे बहुत मज़ा आता है, बहुत amusing, मतलब हैप्पीनेस फील होती है, बहुत एंटरटेनिंग लगता है when people patronize me, when they try to make me happy because I am differently able. And जब क्वेश्चन करता है फिरदौस कांगा जो राइटर है इसका, and do you find it annoying, और आपको लगता है कि आपको गुस्सा आता है, अनोइंग होती है, अनोइंग मीन्स गुस्सा आता है कभी या इरिटेट होते हो, व्हेन समवन लाइक मी कम, जब मेरे जैसा कोई आता है एंड डिस्टर्ब यू इन योर वर्क, और वो आपको आपके काम में डिस्टर्ब करता है. द आंसर फ्लैश्ड येस, और आंसर क्या आया स्क्रीन पे? येस. देन ही स्माइल्ड, his one way smile, and I knew, without being sentimental or silly, that I was looking at one of the most beautiful men in the world. And when he said yes, after that, Stephen Hawking smiled his one way smile and not giving into emotions. But the author knew for sure that he was looking at one of the most beautiful and wonderful man in the world. This is the first part of the video. In second part, we will continue the same chapter. Till then, thank you. Stay home, stay safe.